Just a couple of days away from the 45th Ryder Cup golf competition at Bethpage Black Golf Course in Long Island, New York, between the United States and Europe. A big deal, and we will look at some of the history, politics, and what to expect at this year's competition. Welcome to the channel at Glen Duerr, where I took an in-depth look at the intersection of sports, politics, and international relations. Let's dig into some of the history of the Ryder Cup. The first iteration of the Ryder Cup goes back to 1927, when the United States competed against Great Britain and Ireland. And over that 50-year period, while a great golf competition, it was dominated by the United States, who won 18 of 22 competitions, bearing in mind a hiatus for World War II. And that's what ultimately almost ended the Ryder Cup, because it wasn't really a major competition, despite many great British and Irish golfers that just couldn't compete with the United States. In 1979, though, that all changed when it became the United States against Europe. For example, the great Spaniard golfer Seve Ballesteros, for example, started playing on the team. And in that period, Europe really began to compete very, very strongly with the United States up until this modern period. Since 2014, home turf advantage has been central. In fact, every victory that's occurred has either been to Europe in Europe or to the United States in the United States. And so it's been really interesting to watch, because while there have been some close Ryder Cups, home advantage makes a big deal. But if we go back for a moment to 2010, the Europeans three-peated 2010, 2012, and 2014, including a victory on US soil. And so what does all this mean for the Bethpage Black Golf Course in Long Island? Let's take a look at the golf course as well as the players participating in 2025. New York City is the largest metropolitan area in the United States and a premier destination around the world. Bethpage Black, one of 5 of the Bethpage golf courses on Long Island, is very, very close to the city and a significant opportunity to host a premier golfing competition very close to the Big Apple. The course is 7,400 yards though, really long from tee to green. That is 6,700 meters. And so a very difficult course to play. Plus, unlike a lot of the link style golf courses that you find in Europe, this is more American style, where you put the ball up in the air, it can land softly on the green. But these are professional players that are used to playing across the world. So let's see the teams and their compositions as we get to the 25 Ryder Cup. Golf is a very individual sport, but in this case, there are 12 players per team and 28 points available in a range of different formats in which they compete with one another. Most of the players are selected based on points, but there are also captain's picks. And so it makes for a really significant opportunity to play matchups with different players as they play across 18 holes. And then if a winner is decided, they get a point either for the United States or for Europe, or if it's tied, it's simply split half a point each. Starring for the United States is arguably the best player in the world by some distance, Scottie Scheffler. And he is also joined by a range of different major players like Bryson DeChambeau, Colin Morikawa, among many, many others. Europe has Rory McIlroy as its best player, as well as the veteran Justin Rose. And so this is going to be very interesting to watch, because while the United States has clear advantages on paper, the Europeans have veteran players as well as a number of players who are able to make Ryder Cup victories. So let's see how it plays out. Enjoy the Ryder Cup, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. The Ryder Cup is one of the premier golfing opportunities and tournaments in the world, and it is really great to watch. New York gets to host, and we'll see how it all plays out.